The Giants didn't win this game. The A's handed it to them in a gift wrap box with a big green bow. Tonight on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, your daily home for everything A's baseball, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Tonight, I'm not sugarcoating a damn thing, as usual. The A's dropped the finale to the Giants 6-2 in a game that was loaded with mistakes, wasted opportunities, and a lack of execution in key moments. So what else is new? Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Let's start off with right off the bat, man. Bottom line, you can't win major league games when you strand runners like the A's did tonight, which has been a story of the entire year, which is something I spoke about earlier on today. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Bases loaded, 2 runners on, leadoff doubles. Didn't matter. The at-bats were either rushed, clueless, or completely non-competitive. If you're looking for a silver lining, there isn't one. Jacob Lopez was good, man. He was dealing tonight and got zero support. Lopez deserved better, man. The lefty was lights out for most of his start. 8 strikeouts, including 7 in a row. He was in complete command. The slider was sharp. The fastball played, and the Giants were guessing. But what happens? I don't know, early hit by pitch, a walk with the bases loaded, and then he gets yanked in the 5th with traffic and no margin for error, man. Yeah, I hear you, Jesus, for sure, bud. For sure. We can't be losing to SF Giants at home. If you call it that, if you call it a home. We sure don't play like it. It looked like the Giants home tonight, I'll tell you that. Lopez leaves the game with a line that should have been good enough to win. He only went 4 1/3 innings. I get that. 5 hits, 2 runs. Excuse me. He had 4 runs. He left with only allowing 2 runs. But the 2 runs on base were his responsibility that we could not take care of. He had a walk. He hit a guy. He had 8 Ks. JT Ginn came in. He let it all unravel. He didn't get rocked. He just didn't execute when it mattered. Flores bloops in a single. Chapman goes fishing. And then here comes Willy Adames again, man. Drawing his 2nd bases-loaded walk of the night. And that's how you know a team isn't locked in. You give the same guy 2 free RBIs without him swinging the bat. Come on, man. A's only showed up 1 game per series consistently. Good call, Jesus. You're right, man. That's exactly what's happening. 1 game. Either move Miller or move the starting rotation. I'm good with that, Bill. I'm good with I'm good with any type of change. I'm tired of the status quo, man. I'm tired of the status quo. Kotsay put instead of leaving it. Yeah, I'm with you too. His pitch count was high. They played the righty lefty type of deal. They seem to do that a lot. He was high in pitch count, but he was dealing too. Look at the runners that got on in that inning. He wasn't bad. He allowed the blue pit. What did he do that inning? Devers got the infield hit, right? Soft liner by Kisner to right field. Devers soft. He got Ramos out. Sorry. And then Devers with the softly hit infield hit that shouldn't even been in. That was it. He pulled him. Well, Jesus, we got to do something, man. If our best pitcher is pitching once every 8 days, and he's pitching in when it's a blowout, I mean, what use is Miller right now? He's the best pitcher we have, and we rarely use him. How's Miller an all-star? No chance, Jesus. With an ERA close to 5? 15 of 18 on save opportunities? He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's really good, but he's not an all-star this year. No chance. Not with those numbers. I agree, man. I would have liked to see Lopez go. Frustrating today, guys. Today, for me, was one of the most frustrating games of the whole year. I mean, Ginn, what happened after that? We had Flores. Ginn came in. Flores blooped a single to center. Bases loaded, 1 out. He struck out Chapman. And then they walk Adames again. And then all he was doing was working the outer half of the plate. Every single pitch, he worked the outer half of the plate. And Matos caught onto it. Lined a right center field gapper. We were lucky to get that. That was a ground rule double. Scored 2. Man, it's not like Birdsong was good. We were 1 for 9, Siphon. Lawrence Butler grounded out in the 9th to drive in run. 1 for 9. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Give us our credit. Fuck, man. A's have leadership problem. If Rooker is traded, this team will get worse. You can have too many kids to figure out how you get vets. You think so? Leadership problem. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. We have a leadership problem. Shockingly. Jesus, it is frustrating. Steve, how are you, man? We are in deep therapy session right now. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're in heavy therapy session right now.
Well, did you get going on Mark Kotsay yet?
We started to with him pulling Lopez. Are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
So here's the deal with that. So you have the 5th inning. The inning starts out Kisner soft liner to right with a base hit. Fine. Right. Ramos, he retires Ramos. Devers reaches on an infield hit.
A little dribbler.
Beat
him on that.
And Lopez he pulls him on that. He pulls him on that because he wants to go
on the matchup.
righty.
Yeah.
And Flores blooper to center. And
hold on. So to me, right there is the crux of the problem. Kotsay does not read his pitchers, I don't think, well at all. And so he doesn't understand that Lopez, he's a tough kid. I mean, look how he got out of that first inning. Bases loaded, was it 1 out or no outs? Base loaded 1 out, I think. And he gets out of it with just 1 run.
The run we walked in, he walked in with Adames.
Yeah, right. So, but he was tough. That was a tough kid out there, able to contain things in the first inning. Then he goes and strikes out 7 in a row, dominant stuff. And I mean, and he's shown this isn't just, this isn't some, something that we haven't seen before. Lopez has actually shown some durability and toughness. And so Kotsay, I think he should have earned that. He earned that right to stay in and to try to work through this thing. It's a 2-1 game at that point, first and second. Lopez can get somebody to turn over on a changeup and get a ground ball double play. Don't just throw in the towel and just assume that your lefty is going to fail in the situation.
It seems like he made up his mind going into the fifth just because of Lopez's pitch count and when and he already made it after Devers. He was going to make the move.
I agree. I actually think he was itching to bring in Ginn. He had Ginn warming up the first inning. And so it was nice that he didn't have to bring him in, but I think he had it in his mind that he was going to bring him in at the first opportunity.
100%.
So Kotsay, I think just like most managers in the major leagues, they believe that whatever move they make is better than the one that they don't have, that they don't make. That there always has to be a move.
Yeah. Steve, I'm going to read this ad real quick, and I'm going to come back, and I want to ask you about the experience you were at the game and everything else, all A's. So give me a second here, pal. Yeah. Oh. Ever wish managing your finances felt smoother? Like you had a game plan that actually makes sense? That's where Monarch Money comes in. Whether you are trying to grow your savings or finally pull the trigger on that dream purchase, Monarch puts you in control, like having your own personal GM for your wallet. But Monarch Money isn't just some budgeting app. It's a financial command center. I'm talking full control of all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. For me, the biggest surprise was realizing how fast my little subscriptions were draining money like a leadoff walk. Slowly, sneaky, and suddenly it's loaded. Monarch helped me cut the clutter and start building real financial momentum. Get in the all-star mindset. Go to monarchmoney.com and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. Again, that's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB, because it's time to stop guessing and start dominating your financial game like Jacob Wilson and Brett Rooker are dominating the diamond. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code Locked On MLB for half off your first year. Bill, how was the game tonight, man? Steve, I'm sorry. How was the game tonight?
It was, well, you mean just being there at the ballpark? Yeah. Well, I have to say, look, now everybody should know that my podcast, Curveballs and Changeups, I do both teams, right? Giants
and A's, correct.
So
does a great job, guys. If you get a chance, look them up. Curveballs and Changeups on Spotify, everywhere there is. He covers both teams. Has real accurate critique of Jenny Canvar, the A's, the whole nine. Check him out if you guys get a chance.
I gave Canvar a break in my last one, but I'll be back at that. But anyway, so yeah, I cover both teams, so it's awkward for me, right? But I do find myself pulling for the A's against the Giants. I guess maybe because it's the younger team, and it's a little bit of the kind of the little brother thing, and just pulling for the underdog kind of thing. So it was awkward for me as a fan of both teams. But it's also very shocking to me to be with so many Giants fans at an A's game. I was crossing the street toward the stadium, and it was just a flood of Giants orange and black, just barely any A's colors to see in that flood of orange and black. And it was dispiriting to me a lot. I mean, it felt as if the A's fans aren't abandoning the A's. It felt like the A's are abandoning the fans. They're not pulling them in. There is a disconnect between the Sacramento organization and A's fans. So, and you see that with all of the other games. All of the visiting teams bring their the colors of the visiting teams, and
what way is that, though? I mean, obviously, the biggest way that to me is the most obvious is the name, right? I thought that was just a dumb and careless move that didn't make any sense by the
There's no connection to Sacramento, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The other way, obviously, is there's no advertisements around the park, right? Old Town Sacramento is a great spot to have a drink, go somewhere before the game, after the game. There's no baseball feel in West Sacramento. So for me, those are the only two ways that I've noticed that there isn't any connection. What other ways am I missing?
Well, I think that there's just no outreach at all to fans, but also I think even if Sacramento tried to reach out, I think fans are cynical about it in the first place because they know that this is going to be a short-term relationship, and so you have a relationship that is going to be over soon. So you're not going to invest your emotions in a team that's going to be gone.
Sure.
Then secondly, this is a minor league stadium. If you're going to bring in a major league team, most fans want a major league experience. And so I think there's a lot of cynicism around that. But then the visiting teams, they come, the visiting team fans,
they bring it
because it's their one chance to see their team from wherever they're coming, and of course the Giants have a big base out here in Sacramento in the first place, but
sure,
A's have a big base too. Before the Giants took over Sacramento for their AAA organization, the A's fans were huge out here. It was in fact, when they turned it over to the Giants organizations, there was a lot of bitterness among A's fans that they lost their team. So I think that is carried over into their attitude toward the major league franchise here, and it's too bad because it is a fun team to watch. It's great to watch these young players grow and develop before your eyes. And yes, they're losing, but look, they played 500 ball in the last month.
They have played 500 ball. They're playing better ball, absolutely, for the last month or so. Yeah. There's no question about that. But it's just how they're losing. It seems like some games are just not even showing up. It's frustrating. I feel like they're a better team than their record is, and absolutely, they're playing better. There's no question about it. But
for instance, today that could have been a good game. That it was a 2-1 game, and a manager's decision is what opened it up.
Correct. With that being said, though, we still didn't hit. I mean, it was the story of the last two games. Runners in scoring position, runners in scoring position, runners in scoring position. I mean, Birdsong wasn't good tonight. He had 5 walks tonight. He gives every chance they can get. Yeah. Soderstrom 2 key double plays yesterday. Kurtz with a key double play today. Langeliers was terrible with runners in scoring position, all with the middle of the order coming up. I mean, it was just absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to credit some of the pitches. I mean, Langeliers, that one at bat he had, he fought off some really tough pitches. He worked a good at bat, and then a good fastball in on his hands, and he popped it up. And then, Kurtz, that was disappointing. I think the Giants were afraid of Kurtz all day long. They walked him twice. They were not going to pitch him in a situation where he could hurt them. Yeah. And so they pitched him well. That's why Birdsong had 5 walks. 2 of them were to Kurtz, and they were basically intentional walks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is the criticism of Kotsay fair?
Well, it's fair from me. I mean, you tell me. I think.
Don't start with me. Jesus, I couldn't be more wrong. I did a show in the offseason when they signed Kotsay to an extension. Yeah. Can't miss. That was the title of my. That was the title of my show. Show you how wrong I was. I loved the signing at the time. I thought he was going to be the type of guy. How he played. I like him too. I've always liked him as a player. But. We talked about this before, and I think he's just a prisoner of analytics, and he has no good instincts, and especially as far as dealing with the pitching staff, the starting staff. They just, even getting 6 innings out of Sears on Friday, 6 shutout innings, he could have gone another inning with him. He's already taxed that bullpen to the nth degree. Just get another inning. He's got a 6-inning shutout. Just stay with him. Yeah, I mean, it seems like damned if you do, damned if you. I mean, like, for example, Spence, right? Spence against Tampa Bay in Game 3 went 5 innings. He sent him out for the 6th, and that's where he got hit. So I don't know. It just does not seem to be working out one way or another with this team. Bill says, Steve, the A's are possibly the worst franchise in professional sports with the worst owners. What do you think?
I don't know enough about all of the other franchises and all of the other sports, but I do believe that Fisher is the kind of owner that frustrates fans because he's not locked in, he's not attached.
No,
he seems to have kind of a vendetta on this organization. He browned them to the nub in Oakland so that he could get them out of there. And of course there's the argument that the political
the city's not angels in this whole thing either. Right, they don't get a pass. So but Fisher at the same time was absent as well. Yeah,
and not just absent though. I think Fisher has actively pushed the A's to the worst situation they could be in, so that he could somehow benefit. And so, and that's what he's doing in Sacramento. It feels like. I mean, yeah, sure, he made those free agent signings, but those were all pressured, just to
for the correct for the so you could avoid the grievance with the MLB. So
I agree. I think Fisher is not one of the kinds of owners that you have trust in, and and if you're a Sacramento fan, there's just absolutely no feeling of connection or even hope for the future. So why would you come out to the ball game? I mean, for me, I go out to the ball game because I love the game, right?
Sure.
And I do love watching players as they develop. But yeah, a lot of fans want to enjoy the game with their attachment to the team. That's what baseball and all sports is all about, is how attached you can be, through generations with a team.
Anthony, why was Kotsay hired as a manager to begin with? I'd be honest with you, Anthony. When the A's originally hired Kotsay, I loved it. You guys got to remember, my thoughts with the A's was a young team, up and coming. And when you look at Kotsay's resume, a lot of people don't know this. Kotsay is considered arguably the greatest college baseball player ever to live. He is and if he's not the greatest, he's in the conversation without a doubt. What he did at Fullerton and his resume there, as far as what he did in college, was off the charts. And he played 16, 17 years. And he was a fiery competitor.
And he had a great major league career as an outfielder.
100%. It wasn't a Hall of Fame career, but it was a good career.
But he was always considered to be one of those fiery types, the kinds of players who did things right, played the game right, clutch player, all that kind of stuff. Good outfielder, good defender.
So I thought he was the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
I really did. I was happy about the hire. I don't feel like the team's being held accountable for a lot of what they're doing. At the end of the day, Soderstrom, Butler, they're still 22, 24 years old. They're young kids. And
Soderstrom broke out of it finally, right? He's had a really rough time since April. I had it in my podcast. He's hit like 226 since that peak that he had. He had 9 home runs through April 18th, which was just a crazy start for him. After that, he's only hit 5 home runs.
You want to hear something interesting? Today, earlier on the show, I was talking about that. 32 games, and I mentioned it. I think I made him hit that home run. 32 games since he hit the home run, 100 at bats.
Yeah.
Last home run was game 3 against Toronto in Toronto. Was his last home run he hit.
Right.
That was 32 games ago. That was his 14th.
No, I'm claiming credit because I had that in my podcast today.
I put Ty.
No, but so that was great to see. But then what does he do in the outfield? Oh my goodness. On Tyler Fitzgerald's fly ball, it goes off his glove for a home run. If nothing else, it was great entertainment, but I feel terrible for him because it was a tough play and he got all the way back to the wall. He gets his glove on it. And it could do anything other than go over the fence, but it plopped right over the fence for the home run. So that's how the game went today.
Here's Jason. Jason, good to see you, bud. The A's are 2 starting pitchers short of making the playoffs. Offense is good. Correct. Statistically, our offense is good. The problem is we're not converting with runners in scoring position, and I think we're forgetting how key of a loss Miguel Andujar was. Miguel Andujar was big time for the A's lineup. He added depth to it.
And he's great with runners in scoring position. He was one of the top hitters with runners. He's a professional hitter. I miss his bat, and he would do the things that you need. Base it up the middle, base it to right field. He wasn't slugging necessarily, but he's a professional hitter who got the job done. So you are right. He is totally missed in that lineup.
I can't wrap my head around Lopez being pulled. Yeah, I agree with you, Vegas. I mean, me and Steve were just talking about that earlier. I'm with you. Anthony, I knew he had a solid career, but I wasn't sure if he would be a good manager. Anthony, you're right. I'm wrong. I thought he was going to be a great manager.
Maybe he could be. Maybe. I mean, who knows? But he needs to get off the analytics. He needs to start looking at the game and watching how his pitchers are doing. Jacob Lopez could have got out of that inning just fine. He just was chomping at the bit to get Ginn in for some reason.
Geloff, first series back. I'm not sold on Geloff. He obviously had an awful 2024. He didn't have a good spring training.
Maybe they rushed him back. He only had like 2 games down in the minors of full 9-inning games under his belt.
I think he had more than that, and he wasn't great. He had about 6-7 games, and he wasn't great. He was hitting about 240.
No, but was that complete games? I thought it was, okay.
Yeah, because remember he had 2 rehab stints.
Yeah,
and then he got hurt again.
Then he got hurt with his
Yeah. So
have patience with him. I think I like his swing. In the first 2 games of the series, in the first one against Verlander, he had some good swings. He hit one to the wall against Verlander. Against Webb, he had one good at bat. Stick with him. I know he's 0 for 10 right now, but I think he'll come around.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. What's the expectations here? What's the expectations for this team?
Remember last time you were saying we need to start thinking about winning 2 out of 3, and I said no. I need to. Let's look at 2 out of 4. Let's go 500.
Yeah,
that's still my thought. Just play 500 so you can start getting the feel of success without putting too much expectation on you.
Do you want what are we going to do with Mason Miller? I mean, Bill makes a great point here. I'm sick and tired of seeing Mason Miller come in every 6-7 games, and
coming in to get to work it with down 5 runs.
I mean, I get why they had to put him in there, but he's our best pitcher. We're not putting
not enough opportunities.
David Force has said, "Hey, there's no chance they're going to move him and make him a starter." Trade deadline's coming up in about 3 weeks here. Do you see the A's making any moves? Do you want them to make any moves?
No, I don't. I say stick with what you got. I don't think you're not trying. I mean, you're not trying to win anything right now. So, and these guys are young enough that you don't want to trade to get younger. So I say stick with them and just keep developing with what you got. I mean, what are you going to get from Mason Miller? Just you'll get some young draft picks that you'll see develop down the line 3-4 years. But what happens if, like, in 2 or 3 years, the A's start winning? They're going to need somebody like Mason Miller. But don't you think it is true that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't you think closers are a dime a dozen? I mean, closers are the easiest thing to replace. For me personally,
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I like identity too. Mason Miller. I think
I do. Don't get me wrong. I love Mason Miller.
But what do you want to get for him, though? I know a lot of young fans do the kind of the GM thing. They do enjoy speculating on the future, and it's the easiest thing to do to speculate on the future and to get into the draft picks and seeing what these guys can do in 4 or 5 years. But I don't know, why not just you what you have with Mason Miller, what you have with the players you have. You've been developing them. I say stick with this core group right now. Don't make any moves. You don't need to get younger. You need to just keep developing the players you have.
How about Severino? You don't want to see the A's deal Severino?
Okay, so that's the older guys. And yes, for him And for the A's, I think it would be best for him to get dealt. The only problem is
what are you going to get?
His trade value is gone down.
If people weren't going to sign him in the offseason for what the A's are paying him, why the heck would they give up an asset for him now?
Exactly. And well, the Giants could use somebody like Severino, given some of their
Mets
5 starters. But I think Severino was starting to get interest with his work on the road, but so he's going to have to go back to the road and do some more good work before, in the next start or two, to get his value back up. But even then, you're right, that contract might be prohibitive, and it might be that Fisher will have to eat some of that contract if he wants to get anything.
He's going to pay him out this year, obviously, for the rest of the year, and then he has 2026, 2027,
right.
$22 million a year, with 27 being a player option. With obviously he's going to opt in too.
Yeah. I like Severino, and he has a great arm. I think he's just kind of lost his his focus. Earlier on when he was doing so great on the road, you could at least look to that and watch how good he can be. His last performance in Yankee Stadium kind of dropped his value, I thought.
I mean, look at his road outings from the beginning of the season. If we want to really take a look at this, I mean, it's quite just impressive what he did in Seattle. Opening night, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs. And did he go there? No, his next outing on the road was. In Milwaukee, he was lights out. The A's won that one 1-0. I mean, what did he go in that outing?
He went 8 innings.
Yes, thank you. He went 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, only 1 K. That's how dominant he was then.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been good on the road. There's no question. In Texas, is probably his worst road outing. 5 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run. So yeah, he has been good on the road. There's no question about it. I don't know. It's bewildering me. Even against the Giants, 6 innings in San Francisco, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he would be one player that they would like to move, and he would like to be moved for sure. The contract would be the one kind of difficulty, but so Fisher may have to decide to eat some of that to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, that's no question. No one is to take Severino entire salary. Let's trade Severino for cash and cash
Severino and cash for a bat. Yeah,
I mean, I trade right now Severino and cash for freaking a box of rocks is what I would do. Just something, man. I mean, it's just.
And then you could put Ginn in the starting rotation since he wants to pitch him so much.
I would like to see.
I'm angry about tonight. I like Ginn. He has a great riding sinker. He didn't use enough today, but he has a great riding sinker that he should have. When Adames is up, I think he walked him right with the bases loaded. Was that the one?
Yeah, that was the key one. Second walk.
He
allowed the blooper to Flores. Walked. Got Chapman on a hell of a pitch.
Yeah, and for some reason, I know Adames is hot, but. It seems like the A's just did not have a good scouting report on Adames because they kept on throwing him soft stuff. Severino got hit twice. Both of those 2-run singles yesterday were changeups, though. He had him on the fastball, but he for some reason they believe that Adames is gettable on changeups, and Adames ripped those. And so today they pitched away from Adames. Just throw it on his hands. They would have had him with that with Ginn's great riding sinker. Seriously,
I like that gravity. Sign Andahar as an inexpensive third baseman next year and hit him second behind Wilson. Yeah, what are we going to do with Butler though? I mean, it's a little too soon for me to be giving up on Butler. But yeah, I mean, Butler's striking out a ton, but I think Butler game still ahead, has a lot to go ahead of him. And you know who's tearing it up right now also, and I still believe in him, is Bleday. He is tearing it up in Vegas right now, hitting 440, hit 5 for 5. 2 nights ago.
Then he comes up to the big leagues and
he can't hit a thing.
Yeah. It's just, what the heck?
Had a grand slam yesterday. I don't know what he did tonight, but
he may be the perfect 4A ball player. I mean, too good for AAA and not good enough for the major leagues. I mean, he had a great year last year, so there should be no reason that he can't repeat that.
No, they've won 4 games in a row one time, Jason. 4 games in a row. I remember it like the back of my hand. Do you remember those 4 games? Steve?
Yeah.
What were they?
Well, wait, hold on.
Royals 3 in a row. No,
Warriors. KC sweep. Yeah, KC sweep.
Royals came home, game 1. We beat Houston. Then the second, that
was the Kurtz blast.
Correct. That's 4 in a row.
Not just the walk-off. Remember, he hit the top of the 9th inning home run against Kansas City. That turned out to be the winning run.
Back to back. Correct.
Yes. Then he got the walk-off on the opening day of that Houston series. Then they lost 2. And then he got the walk-off in the final game of that series.
Do you remember what game 2 of that Houston series? Most disappointing loss of the year. We are set to face Lance McCullers. The day of, or the previous day, McCullers gets injured. You know who Houston brings up to face the A's?
I forget. Go ahead, tell me.
Jason Alexander, who we
that's
CFA'd
right.
2 weeks earlier after he had an 18 ERA with the A's and absolutely just dealt against the A's. 6 innings. I think he had 2 runs, and Houston beats us in what I consider the most disappointing game. Every single time this year, Bill, every single time the A's, I think the A's are going to turn the corner. They have one of those games.
Well, I think we even interacted on Twitter on that one, and I said, there's another example of the A's just not having a good scouting department or something. They just didn't evaluate their pitches, so they get rid of a guy, and he comes back and throws a 3-hitter over 6 innings against them. So what were they missing? Was it just that he was throwing a good revenge game, or did the A's just not have a good evaluation of him?
I just think the A's, I remember that game. I just don't think they had a good evaluation. And I remember the post game of that thing. And Kotsay has hey, we had a game plan. The game plan was to wait him out, go the other way. And he basically said it without saying it in the post game. Players didn't listen to us. I mean, he didn't say that, but he said, hey, they decided to kind of do their own thing. And they
got 95 pitches out of him in 6 innings. And that's enough patience. They just couldn't hit him. They had 3 hits in 6 innings. I mean, that's funny. That game, he gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings, and that dropped his ERA down to 10.50.
Yeah, that was nutty.
I don't know what he's done since then. It was.
I think that's been his only start. Over the offseason, I like to trade Butler for arms, convert Miller to a starting pitcher, and sign multiple.
I don't get that. Is Miller? So Miller isn't built to be a starting pitcher.
He came up as a starting pitcher. He was drafted as a starter, but right now, no. With the injuries he has had, no, he's not there. But
and it'll be with the Giants, Jordan Hicks tried that conversion, right? And
he did.
He was a guy who could throw 104 miles an hour as a reliever, right? And then as he tried to convert as a starter, he had to tone it down a little bit, and that took away his effectiveness. And
he started out great as a starter his first half of the season with the Giants, and then the consistency wasn't there in the second half.
I mean, but Miller would have to bring in he'd have to develop a third pitch, and he's just barely developed that slider. It's looking good finally, but he has some troubles with that slider. Anyway, I mean, I'm all for using strong arms and making them starting pitchers. I just don't know if that's what he's built to do.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, the frustration I think is, and I think we could all agree on it, is just our best pitcher is somebody we don't use too often because there hasn't been the opportunity. And that's what makes it frustrating.
I was happy to see him tonight. I was hoping that it'd be a close enough game where it would be, some drama, and going back to that first series in San Francisco, might be Miller would have the opportunity to kind of avenge that experience. But it wasn't close enough. But he did.
Yeah.
It was still fun to watch him throw 103 miles an hour.
It's always fun to watch him. I mean, you look at the hitters in the series they had, it's not bad. I mean, Butler was 3 for 11, had 4 runs, had a double. Wilson was 3 for 12. Rooker 3 for 10.
Denzel Clarke had a great series.
Denzel Clarke was 3 for 9. He was fine. 3 for 9.
He had a home run. No, he had 4 hits.
4 hits, 4 for 10. Excuse me. He was 4 for 10 for the series with a double.
He had a home run and a triple in the first game.
2 doubles and a 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer. Pretty darn good.
The doubles yesterday, and today he turned around a Randy Rodriguez 98-mile-an-hour fastball and ripped it down the corner of left field.
You know how hard he hit that? 113.7.
Yeah, that guy. I told my my partner next to me, I said, if he throws him a fastball, Clarke is going to turn on it, and he did. He's a good fastball hitter. The only Achilles heel he has is the one that all rookies have, and that is the change up outside or the slider outside. But if he gets discipline on that, and you can see him hitting so well against fastballs like that, that's exciting. So yeah, he had a great series against the Giants. He only made one fantastic catch. That was the one disappointment.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he was 4 for 10. Yeah. I mean, Muncy was 3 for 12 with 3 doubles. Yeah. Soderstrom ended up being 3 for 11. I mean, you look at the numbers and you're like, God, we should win this series, man.
I thought for sure, actually, when it was 1-1 going today, and with Lopez going, the lefty, I thought the A's would win the 2 out of 3. And Kotsay should have known that. He should have known that the Giants are just not good against lefties. He should have stayed with Lopez as long as he could have. I think a lot of fans don't understand a pitcher can't get through a lineup multiple times with 2 pitches. You need at least 3 effective pitches. Yeah, that's talking about Mason Miller.
Yeah, why do the A's pick on Giants hitters? I mean, come on, they just drilled their best players. That's all.
No, it was that. Those are just all errant pitches. Nobody threw.
Yeah, no one threw at him. I mean
Devers today, everybody throws him up and in. Not
it was an off-speed pitch today with Lopez. Yesterday with Newcomb was an off-speed pitch. Yeah, Severino hit.
He was just twice. He hit Ramos and Chapman, but
pretty hard. But
Severino was just off a little bit. That's all. Nobody was aiming for the Giants hitters, and I'm glad the Giants didn't retaliate. When
the Giants did that, I think the Giants learned their lesson. They had a game earlier on this year where it was
Birdsong pitching, and he hit
the Marlins.
Yeah, he got the first 2 hitters of the inning, and then he thought to get kind of cute, and everything.
And they end up getting 3 runs out of in the inning, and that ended up being the difference in the ball.
That's the thing. You don't put that on a rookie. You don't give that responsibility to a rookie because you don't know how that's going to affect him emotionally. As a kid, he's out there and he's all fired up about, payback, and then suddenly he's forgot about the game. So, yeah, you got to get a guy like Logan Webb. Twice came in tight to A's hitters yesterday. Rooker had one up and in, and I forget the other one, but that's all. Yeah. No, it wasn't. There was nothing intentional there by the A's pitchers. Just erratic.
How many games have you been so far this year?
A's games about 10.
10. Yeah, I've been about 7. John Fisher treats his franchise like an investment fund. He couldn't care less about winning games. I want them sold to someone who cares about winning games. Yeah, I 1,000% agree with you, Anthony, on that one. He's in it for the profit.
I don't know how many people in this world today, among the billionaires, you're going to get who treat the game with a passion and a connection to the game. Right now, everything's seen as a commodity, and that's all this is to so many of the owners. So,
Let me ask you a question, Steve. Do you feel that sports franchises and owners are treated differently than business owners? And what I mean by that is me and you, let's say if we were out owning our own business, our idea and thought is to maximize revenue and profitability, what we can do best with it, right? But when you switch it over to baseball, when you switch it over to sports, it seems like there's a different type of measuring stick for them, where that's not necessarily like, hey, we don't care if you make money. The fans want a certain aspect of what's going on. It almost seems to me there's a little bit of hypocrisy in there. Do you think that's accurate, or is that a little bit off base?
No, I think that's right. That's right. I mean, so many local governments sell their souls to get a professional team, and so they'll give up tax revenues. They will spend social dollars. They'll spend public dollars just to get a team in their locale, and they'll give away land. So there's just so much that local communities will do to get the status of a major league team. And the Sacramento Kings did that. And I'm sure the Sacramento Kings owner will do the same if he can get his arms around some kind of deal to keep the A's in Sacramento. But yeah, and then I can't think of maybe somebody can remember this. The congressional protection that baseball has. I was just talking about that with my wife today, talking about Judge Keenesaw Mountain Landis, and I forget exactly what it is, but it's a protection that Major League Baseball has had since the 20s, and against any kind of federal action. So it protects them from in their status as a baseball organization.
Gotcha.
Maybe somebody can remember exactly what that term is. For some reason, it's skipping me right now.
Got it. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I'm not a Fisher guy. As far as what he's done, like I said, he's been an absentee type of owner, but at the same time, there's been far too much attention been put on this organization with regard to Fisher as well in a negative point of view. For example, them leaving Oakland. Everyone forgets during the lease negotiations, Oakland wanted $60 million over a 3-year period of time and wanted ownership to the Athletics name. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, whatever. But if I was in that situation, I don't know if I take that either. And that's what really took him over to Sacramento. And how the city, in my opinion, gets any type of pass, there's no question. Fisher, if he really wanted to stay, he could have, but he's also putting out a lot of dough to do so. It's just a tough call. And for me as an A's fan, it's been the most unenjoyable year because of the politics surrounding the team.
I count myself guilty in that, and that is that
me as well.
I separate myself a lot from the politics of baseball, and I try to enjoy the game.
Sure.
What it has for you on the field, and that maybe I'm guilty of it, and maybe I should be a little more open-eyed about what's going on with the struggles with the organization. But it doesn't. I don't know. There are plenty of fans who are trying to agitate for change to the benefit. That's fine. Let them do that. I watch the game as a former player, as a former sports writer, and just a longtime fan. And there are a lot of things about the game that I don't like that it's turned into.
Yeah.
The pitch count, the devaluation of starting pitchers. I am not an analytics guy.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So there's so much about the game that has kind of turned me off, but I still am. I can't help myself. I'm still a big baseball fan, and I still
it's there. Yes,
enjoy the game. I go there to enjoy the game, and so and I do empathize, and I do understand the frustration that many A's fans, for sure. I have some of my best friends are longtime A's fans who cannot stand to watch a game now, who have turned themselves away from the game, which I find too bad. I can't have a good discussion anymore with some of my friends about the game because they just refuse to partake. They refuse to. I think for them it feels like they're buying into a myth and buying into a lie, and that's all because of their the way they've been treated. They felt like they've been treated by John Fisher and other.
Yeah, no question. And I see their point at the same time, but there's no question about that. But it's something we can't control, right? This Major League Baseball and the owners, they are not a publicly elected official. And listen, there was nothing more I love more than going to a Thursday day game, Wednesday day game at the Coliseum. I don't know how many I went to, and getting a ticket right behind the dish. And now I can't really do that. I mean, driving all the way to Sacramento is about 5 hours round trip for me. So
you've been to 7 games?
7 games, yeah. I've been
That's
to
great.
I went to I went to opening night. I went to opening night against the Cubs, the day game against the Cubs.
I'm sorry.
I went to the Mets
for that.
the Rangers game. I went to 2 Seattle games 2 and 3. And then that
was the beginning of the end,
I know. Thanks. 20 and 16 in game 1, right? Remember, it was Jacob Wilson walk-off that in game 1 of that series at Sutter. And then we lose the next game, which is
but the A's were leading 5-1 in game 2. It was a 5-6.
In game 3, we were leading 5-1. In game 2, we were still leading. That was a Tyler Ferguson meltdown where he used him for 4 straight games.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And Tyler Ferguson got rocked last night. And
here it is. It's the antitrust exemption. That's what I was talking about. So that's the antitrust exemption is what protects Major League Baseball from having to be a part of the interstate commerce rules. Anyway, it gives them extra protection. It gives them their ability to basically operate without federal intrusion.
On Severino, the A's only got him for revenue shares heavy. He only came to us for the money. A match made on money is the wrong match. It wasn't done with the right things in mind. I actually talked about this earlier. The thing about the Severino signing, what makes it tough is we don't know what else was going on. We don't know if there was other pitchers in the equation. For me, I would have loved to sign a guy like a Matthew Boyd. He got, I think, 30 and 2 years, $30 million with the Cubs. I would have been like, hey, give him 50 and 3 years with the A's. But at the same time, I would have liked to got a couple different pitchers for what Severino cost. With that being said, we don't know what was going on. We don't know who they're talking to, who refused to come, who didn't want to come, etc. So it's hard to say. Obviously, Jay Souls, what you're saying is 100% right. That's the only reason. And that's, who was our second highest paid player this year? Everyone forgets about Jose Leclerc. Our 2 highest paid players this year have crushed this team.
Yeah, that's too bad because Severino, as we said earlier, he has shown what kind of pitcher he can be with the stuff he's done on the road. And so then it comes back to, what Sutter Health Park is like and what it's like to play in a minor league facility and a stadium that has such weird kind of atmospheric quirks that I don't know who is going to succeed there as a pitcher. I mean, you might have a couple outings like JP Sears did the other day. Really nice. But, I mean, he's had rough moments in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. No matter who you got, I imagine you would have probably gotten similar results from.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. No question. I mean, for me, and I know a lot of people disagree on it. I don't like how he's been outspoken about it. And I get it. A lot of people like the honesty. It's a rare thing you see from athletes.
Yeah, I agree. I do like it, actually. But you're right. I think your point is correct. And that is, what kind of impact does that have on everybody else? How does that fit into the clubhouse and how does it work its way into the mind of other players? And then suddenly everybody's making the excuses. So yeah, that really can have a tough effect.
At the end of the day, Steve, you're hired to do a job, and in baseball or whatever it may be, whatever, if it's work, if you're the average Joe, if you're sales, your job is to get revenue for a company. Whatever your job is in baseball, in sports, your job is to win. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're part of an organization and your job is to win. And there is a number of ways to win that doesn't necessarily put you on the field. And I feel that he has not done his job as far as that when he has not been on the field. And that's what bothers me. Instead of picking others up, he has dragged them down. He's a veteran.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, don't you think? I mean, I thought it was refreshing when his last answer was, "You asked me a question. I don't want to lie to you." To me, that was great. As a former reporter, that was a thing I really would have appreciated. So I don't want some guy who's just going to break out the company line. If he's feeling in a certain way, I think it's probably best for that to come out in the long run. So what are they going to do about it? I mean, is there anything the team can do about to improve conditions?
First of all, what condition? I mean, as far as what conditions are we talking about? The big condition he is talking about that Severino has a gripe with is the that I've heard as far as specifics. Okay. The clubhouse not having air conditioning's bullshit, right? That's not true. The air conditioning does have air conditioning.
Yeah, I think it was actually I think he meant the dugout.
Correct. The dugout's not. He likes to go into the clubhouse between innings, and that's his rhythm.
He can't because it's out in the left field.
Left field, correct. So that's his huge gripe right now as far as it. And, obviously the feel and the atmosphere of it, I don't know. Is it a mess? Is it stink? 100%. Am I happy about it as a fan? No, I hate it. And just imagine I have to go 2 more years with this. It stinks.
At least, maybe 3.
Who knows? But it sucks, man. But
I know. It's going to be interesting to see, 3 years down the line, what is the morale going to be like in Sacramento, among all of these players? How many of them are going to still be around? I mean, you think they are going to be most of this core group is going to be around still. So they've got to make something good out of it. You're right. So that's where it does turn on these veterans to kind of create a positive atmosphere.
It is what it is. It is what it is, right?
Well, and then I just heard, who was it? Somebody talking about playing at Candlestick Park, how it was the worst conditions. The wind.
Candlestick was rough.
It was really tough. But when Roger Craig came to them in 1985, 86, he told them that this is your park. You need to make it your advantage. Other players hate to come in here, make it your advantage. So that the A's need to find a way to make it their advantage.
And that's where I blame Kotsay and the coaching staff for that. That's their job. Mm-hmm. Craig did a hell of a job, and there's been leaders in all of sports as far as coaches that have been able to lead that. In my opinion, the coaching staff, Emerson, Kotsay, you either coach it or you allow it. And it's being allowed. It is what it is. Is it an ideal situation? No. But are we going to sit here and blame Fisher for every single thing as they just go down in misery? Or is there something we need to overcome with it? So,
So I wonder also, though, the A's have given up, I think, like 115 home runs at Sutter, or was it just probably about 30 home runs more that they've given up than they've hit, right? So that's on the pitching staff. But can you do something to mitigate that? Can you pull some fences back? Can you maybe bring the home plate closer to the backstop? Just make it bigger, make it more pitcher friendly. Maybe do that.
But look who's giving up these home runs. It's not like guys with pedigree. You know what I mean? It's so. Our staff isn't. JP Sears has had a similar first half as he had last year, right? So there shouldn't be anything shocking as far as what we do. I mean, I don't think it has much to do with the park rather than our personnel on the pitching end of things. I mean, Spence, you got a Rule 5 guy right there. He's a fighter. He's been grinding. He's doing okay. Tyler Ferguson's he got rocked. He got rocked first half of last year. That's nothing new. Anthony Maldonado, guys like Grant Holman, Mikel Otanez, losing him hasn't been the best. Osvaldo Bideau's gotten rocked in Vegas, in Sacramento. Joey Estes has gotten rocked everywhere he's been. So it's not like, Noah Murdoch, same type of guy when we had him earlier, Rule 5 pick. He's gotten rocked everywhere. It's less about the park than it is more of our personnel.
Right. And then you look at the opposing teams, and they're giving up fewer home runs against the A's hitters. So, the Giants, what are they? They lost 11-2, they won 7-2, and they won 6-2. So they give up 4 runs over the last 2 games. It can be done.
And we've hit. I mean, we had 7 hits off Logan Webb. We had a number of opportunities where we could have broke the game open tonight, and we just didn't get that key hit. We're just getting the hits at the wrong time, and I don't know. It's a frustrating year. It's a young team. It's a fun team. I think there's a lot to be excited about. But I think we just need to concentrate on what's going on the field, enjoy the game of baseball, enjoy what we have, rather than everything else off the field.
Yeah. All right. So let's look forward to Nick, to Geloff getting his first hit.
Okay.
That's the next thing to look forward to.
We got 3 against Atlanta, 3 against Toronto, and
Atlanta's not having a great year this year.
They picked it up lately. But still, they're struggling a little bit, though. Yeah, you're right. They're not as bad as they were at the beginning of the season, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not paid attention to that side of the world. I'm reading a lot of Civil War stuff, though. So Atlanta is burning right now in the books I'm reading.
Is it really?
In the books that I'm reading about the Civil War. So yes.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm actually reading Gone with the Wind, so it is getting hot in Atlanta right now.
Wow, interesting. Steve, hey, thank you so much. Let's do this again soon, man.
All right, Booney. Sorry we couldn't do it on a better note, but it's always good to talk.
Hey, it's always great having a nice conversation with you, my friend. And like I said, we'll do this again soon, bud.
All right, take it easy.
Take it easy, man. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts.